If you haven't heard, I am doing a all-month October Halloween special theme videos. So as my first Halloween comparison video, I'm going to be doing The Purge versus Sinners. Okay, I know that they're not the same movie, but they are kind of similar when I break them down. Without wasting any more time, let's get this over with. Okay, the story of The Purge is that every night, people just go out and committed all sorts of crimes. Like everything is illegal until 6 a.m. in the morning. And that's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, but a bit crazy and big. As for the story for Sinners, well, it was just about the vampire demons attacking the farm in the middle of the night, and that is the only story that they have. Yeah. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I think I might give the movie Purge the upper hand with the story, because there's not much going on in The Sinners. It was a slow-pacing movie all the way through. Well, The Purge was pretty short, but I at least had a little fun with it. But watching The Sinners, I was just pretty bored the whole time. Like, it was so slow to get to the next scene, and it was just not worth my time. Okay, I get that they're trying to build some tension, but I hate to break it to you, but this is not the kind of movie that I watch. My purpose of watching a movie is to be entertained, and that's all that matters to me. And this movie is nowhere near as entertaining. It was just too slow. And all I can just think about is walking out of the theater. But my godmother just beat me to it. And as you're guessing, it was my family member's idea to watch this movie, so not mine. So you can say what you will about the slow pacing, building story tension bullcrap. Well, despite The Purge being short, I found the pacing better, because the first Purge is about the family defending themselves against dangerous bad people trying to hurt them. Well, if you're a father and you had a family yourself, then you can imagine yourself being into this situation, and that is the kind of story that I am interested and willing to stick with and root for. And the tension was pretty clear too. So the movie, in my opinion, with a much better story, is The Purge. Okay, let's start with The Purge. Like I said, The Purge is one of these family-type movies, and me personally, I am a sucker to family-type movies. Well, these characters are not fleshed out, but I did care for them during this situation. Well, Sinners, on the other hand, well, I don't like any of the characters, nor that I even care. Like, all of these characters are just used to build tension, like they're just plot devices. Well, there are some characters that is funny. I mean, my mom and my godmother were laughing at a few jokes, but me, I was just completely silent, and I don't find the jokes any funny. And there's a one scene during the party where the two characters were doing sex stuff to each other, like doing something inappropriate, which I don't want to go into details.
Again! No, not again! Help! Oh, not again!
So yeah, I said enough about the Sinners characters, and this is why I'm easily giving this round to the first Purge movie. Because watching Sinner, I did not care for the characters, especially at the end of the movie, and I just walked out of the theater with such a bad impression. So therefore, I rather prefer a horror movie that is about family, period. Now, let's just move on to the next round. Okay, me personally, I am not a fan of horror movies, so I am not a big fan of this genre. But now that I am older, there are some horror elements that I don't mind. Well, as long they don't go too far with it, you know what I mean? Well, watching the movie Sinners, well, to be honest with you, I don't really find this movie to be that scary. What? Seriously, I don't. Hey guys, chill out. Guys, hey, listen. Just allow me to explain. There's nothing really that scary about this movie. Well, at least for me. The CGI of the vampire and the glowing eye, the glowing red eye, I would say, that is not intimidating enough. All they did is throw into a bunch of blood and gore, and that's it. Okay, well, at times, there are some parts that is super scary, and there's a one jump scare scene that makes me jump out of my seats, but overall, the horror element was just weak, and I don't find myself to be scared watching this movie. I was just bored the whole time. Well, I don't find the horror element to be that scary in the Purge movie either, but at least it tries to be scary. Well, Sinners, on the other hand, well, it seems like it was not trying to be scary at all. And even my mom didn't think it was that scary when we walked out of the theater. Well, overall, I think both of these movies has some weak horror elements, and none of them deserve a point, in my opinion. Well, the villains in The Purge were just a group of criminals trying to get into the rich family's house just to kill them and kill the enemy that is hiding. Well, the Sinners villains were just demons or vampire, whatever you guys want to consider them. These monsters wanted to go inside of the party to affect these people, and both of these group of villains can use manipulation that help with the plot twisting. Well, like I said in the last round, I don't find the demons and sinners least intimidating. They just play around a bit, and they did nothing else terrifying. They're just generic to me. And the red eyes and sharp teeth effects is going to even cut it. Well, I don't see the villains intimidating in the first Purge, but I did care for the family and just have a good time overall. Well, for Sinners, I don't find myself to be caring for the characters like I did with the Purge characters. And plus, the action in The Purge was pretty good, and it was fast-paced. The fight scene in The Purge, well, it was okay, I guess, and it is not really memorable. And that's funny because recently, my mom forgot we have seen this movie, and that is such a bad note from the Sinners. Okay, well, neither of the villains wins here, but if I have to choose, when it comes to intimidation factor, especially for the family members, then I gotta go with The Purge. But as an entertaining standpoint, with the special effects, then the movie with the superior villains is Sinners. Okay, well, you guys seems to be under the impression that I did not enjoy The Sinners, and you would have guessed it right. Yoke, I know The Sinners is a popular movie that everyone is talking about, but as for me, I am not into overrated stuff. So overall, I think The Sinner was such a waste of my time, especially it was a slow-paced, boring movie. And I don't think I'm alone having this opinion. My godmother actually walked out of the theater and never came back, and I thought to myself, if she either was scared of this movie, or she just didn't like it at all. And I think the option is kind of both. Well, The Purge from 2013, well, it was maybe fast-paced, but the movie was long enough to make me care about the characters and just have a good time. Well, if you like the movie Sinners, then that is okay. I can understand why people would like this movie, but for me, I hated this film. Well, I have seen this movie once, and hopefully, I don't have to sit through it again. So The Purge gets a 5 out of 10, and The Sinners gets a 2. Okay, at first, I was going to give it like a 1 or a 0 out of 10, but I decided to give it a 2 because I am feeling a bit generous today. Anyway, if you enjoyed my first Halloween-themed video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you disagree with my opinion, then comment down below of which movie do you like better, and why. My name is Isaiah Belfort, and I wish you guys a happy Halloween.
Megan, why? Why did you kill people?
I didn't kill anyone. You did.